Hello, loves. Welcome to a new episode of Villa Vibes and Hot Takes. We are approaching the finale and we are a little, it's bittersweet right now. The
No,
finale is
literally.
coming and the drama won't quit. There's drama, drama,
Child.
drama, surprise exits, reboots, which we saw coming, the
Yeah.
villas giving second chances, shady past, and some seriously unexpected love stories. Let's break it down before the crazy season wraps up. Avani B.
God. Hello.
Hello. What the heck?
Child. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Like,
It just keeps spinning. It's like being on a freaking. You remember that? I don't know if you remember, because I'm a lot older. Um,
anyways.
remember the Merry Mixer that used to like. That's how I feel like on this season's Love Island. It's
No,
insane.
literally, because at this rate, and it's just, I don't know. We're going in the same circles over and over and over again.
Okay. First of all, we have to speak on it because everyone's speaking on it.
Which part?
Sie- Sierra's exit, that unexpected
They
exit for
said
her.
Cierra has left the villa for due to personal reasons. Girl, let me
She
tell
said
you.
that.
You remember good man Zach, right?
Yes.
Tattooed Zach.
Yes.
Girl, he spoke on it a little bit. Somebody asked him.
I
He was
saw
like,
that.
he's
You
like,
saw that
he was like, I'm
yeah.
not allowed to say, and then spills everything, which I was fine with because I wanted to know. But I didn't think that they were gonna tell them, oh, because she broke like, what was it, certain guidelines or
Yes.
whatever. And like they said that I apparently, according to him, they told them that she said something offensive outside of the
Right.
villa.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were gonna say all that. Maybe
They were
that's
gonna
why, like,
find out anyway.
no, yeah, they want to find out. I mean, it would have taken them a little while though, because remember, once the finalists kind of leave the villa, it
Oh,
takes them a good while before because they usually are doing like after interview after interview when they get out. So like it usually takes them a minute to even get their phones back in general. Um, but I was kind of surprised that they said maybe that's why like nobody really looked like Nick looked sad for like 2 seconds and then he was like,
yeah.
I
Did
let
you
me go
did
get
you
my
see the did you see the video of his parents?
yeah, they
I guess they weren't too crazy about her, it
I
seems.
guess not. But like
So,
I saw someone do a comparison as you know, like which we spoke about. She has a history of loving the show and being friends with quite a few people that have been on the show in the past, like Cassie and Johnny. Um, and she's had the Love Island birthday, and apparently she studied the hell out of Love Island, especially last season. And somebody made like a kind of like a compilation video of moments of her moments this season, and they were like, "Did those moments look familiar to you?" If they did, it's because I guess she studied the hell out of Leah last season, and she was dropping lines that Leah was dropping last season,
really? I
like
didn't even
basically
notice
word
any of
by
that.
word. A lot of like the facial reactions and stuff. Like not to say obviously that like oh they're not like her authentic facial reactions, but there were just little things that people were like these seem to mirror how Leah reacts to a lot
Wow.
of things last season. So people were like, if you think about it from the fact that she clearly has a lot of Love Island training in a sense, it might make a lot of sense to why
Yeah.
she did certain things, said certain things the way that she did, because she knows how to play the game because she has people around her who have played the game already. So
Well, I mean,
I don't know, but
hey, I don't even know what to say. I mean, we have to remember
yeah,
everything you do on social media will surface. It doesn't go
yeah,
away. It stays on there forever. So it is what
yeah.
it is. But Ace and Shelley, do you think they're locked in or it's a last minute PR stunt for the finale? Because
I'm
they run hot and cold. I don't
that's kind of my
something.
thing with them. I'm still not 100% sold, I will say. Maybe that's due to the edit that they were being given. Maybe that's due to all the other things that people have been saying outside of the villa. Like there were rumors. I don't know how true it is, but like there were rumors about them having actually known each other for months prior, not just for the 2 seconds that they claimed. There's another rumor that he actually wished her a happy Valentine's Day this year.
Oh,
Um, so there's a lot of rumors. So I'm like, I'm not too sure.
interesting.
Did I think though it was very cute and it seemed very genuine for
The
Ace at
dates?
least. The date, yeah, that seemed very genuine. That
But
seemed to like
how about Shelley's date? Do you think that was
no, as in Shelley's date. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
one that she did with him, for him, the s'mores. That seemed
Mm-hmm.
very genuine for him, at least. Like it seemed very like to have brought him back to a place of nostalgia. And like I feel like nostalgia is one of those
Yeah,
things
that was a
you
sweet
can't fake
moment.
that. Like you can't fake that. And that
That's
moment
true.
had me like, okay,
You
this
talked
is kind of
you
cute.
talked about his
I
family.
yeah, I didn't. I was like, this isn't a moment where I can sit and like fight it. Like I could see it in that moment because you can't fake the feeling of nostalgia. I think nostalgia is probably one of the most genuine feelings
That's a
that
good point.
it's one of those like you can't just act like you feel
Yeah,
like nostalgic or like you feel like you're thrown back. Being thrown back into your childhood, that's a very genuine thing.
that's
And
a good
not
point.
there's very certain things that will trigger it, and that felt very genuine. So I can't even like fight that again, do I still believe in terms of just especially after what we had just been seeing with all this? Again, it could be the narrative that they were giving them, but I don't know. That's a very genuine moment for me, but I think in terms of their relationship, I'm still like maybe I just needed to have seen a lot more to them because
Yeah, I don't
would I sit and call them my like finalists? No, that's just me personally, but
There's what, there's four finalists or
four.
three? There's
It's
four.
four because one of them is like participation, then you have bottom three, or I guess not participation. They do rank it fourth place, third place, for second place, first
Right.
place.
Okay. So I'm gonna use your name, your the nickname you gave him, Nicolandria.
Oh, that's the
Nicolandria.
that's the people's nickname. But did you notice Nick also gave him a nickname?
No, I didn't. What
Yeah, he
I
did.
missed
He
that. What did he call?
um it was basically like Nicolandria, but just slightly different. It was like worded
Interesting.
just like two letters off. But it was basically he was like, yeah, like we can have a cute little ship name. Like he said like Nicklandria or something like that. It was something along the lines of that.
My only question to that relationship is what happened to girl code?
That and somebody made a good point. Like I obviously I do think as a romantic book reader, the trope is there. I think that's why Nicolangia stands have fought for them since day one because a lot of them are probably readers. They probably see it, and I'm disappointed in myself for having not seen it in the beginning. But I think there were just way too many other things that I was
Mm,
focused on. I was not focused on them at all. But somebody made a good point. They were like, it's not that I don't think that the bond is there. It's just they were like, I have an issue with or they're not the like a fourth place couple in their personal opinion because they kind of had to be forced together. It wasn't
right.
necessarily the most genuine. Like sure they kept somehow finding their ways back to each other in a sense, but like they had other factors had to be physically removed from them in order for them to get there.
That's
And I
actually a
do agree with
valid
that.
point. That's a
I
valid
do.
point.
I can't remember who said it on. I saw it on TikTok, but um, that was such a valid point for me, and I was like, you know what? Maybe that's why I can't sit here and be like, oh my God, yes, like they're fine, like that final couple for me,
I
regardless
can't.
of how cute I think the trope is. I'm like, I agree with that. Like they kind of had to be forced together, and then they started like,
And
even though I think it was more Olandria, I think Nick always knew that he liked her, and I think that coming to that again, I think that's why he backed off in the first place, and that's why he doubled down to make sure and ask her and be like, hey, like, how do you feel about the Clarke um and Taylor situation? I think he had to make sure that this girl still wasn't hung up on that man, that very cute man.
I'm sorry. I still feel like it forced. So he is all over Sierra. They literally lock it up. That's his girlfriend. And then the next day she gets pushed out and he's like, "Oh, I'm having like little butterflies or whatever he called it or
But
I was feeling some kind of way." I'm like, "Wait a minute. 24 hours ago, you were
But
feeling some kind of way.
no, but
I
here's
don't
the thing.
know.
Somebody, and I remember seeing that clip and I was like, that's interesting. So do you remember when Cierra and Nick went on their date where they like closed off, got became closed off? I don't remember. I think Nick was saying something, and like that's one always been one of the biggest things I did notice with Nick. And it's why I also was like, you know what? When I see him talk to Olandria, everything is really like, it just rolls off. It's
It's a
very
different
genuine.
person, two different
No, but
personalities.
no, wait. It just it rolls off in a genuine way. Like the compliments and the way that he speaks about her, it's all very genuine. He doesn't have to think twice about it. With Cierra, it was always very like, like but
Rehearsed?
like you're and like no, it was just the way that he would seem to like stop himself from like saying certain things or like and in the during that date, she said I guess he says something and she goes, "Oh my God, are you saying I'm your dream girl?" And he goes,
Oh,
"Mm-hmm." I'm like, "Sir, you had no you spoke you took when you saw the opportunity with Alandria, you was calling her your queen. You was all this stuff about how like that was the girl that you really want to get to know. And then the girl that you closed it off with, she asks you, "Oh, are you saying I'm your dream girl?" You look like you wanted to say no, but you couldn't say no, so you go, "Mm-hmm." I was like, "Nick, please,
Uh,
please."
yeah, I don't know. I can't. I think it's
But
it's 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 the way it went down. I don't like
yeah.
it. I don't.
But then
I
again,
get
though,
it.
that girl Sierra was quite delusional. I don't know if you picked up on it, but she when she was telling the girls how the date went, and she was like, "Yeah, Nick was saying that I'm the only one he wants to be with, this, that, and the third, and like I'm the only one that he can see." And then she went like,
Embellishment.
"Hee hee," and then people pulled the clip of what actually was said. All those words that she was saying to the girls that he said to her, she was actually the one saying it to Nick, and Nick didn't really like reciprocate that. And I'm like, that's not.
That's oh my God, that's so terrible.
And I don't know if you remember it, but she literally goes and like after she's talking to girls, and I'm like, girl, you know damn well that he
Uh,
didn't say that to you. I'm
I don't
like,
know.
that's the level of delusion I look to achieve. Cause what? I'm like,
Oh shit.
if I
But
ever had to sit and imagine that that was what I
no.
was told, put
Then
me
we're
in a
not
white
then
room, put
yeah,
me in a
exactly.
padded room. Shit.
But I want to talk about the People's Princess.
Maya Papaya.
I she
Girl,
came from she
she
came from
said,
nowhere. She came from nowhere. She came from back
if
there.
I'm not your cup
Now
of tea,
now
don't
I
drink it.
actually
Not did Starbucks popped on it onto it. They were like, if I'm not your cup of espresso, then don't drink it. I'm like,
Wait, what?
oh, wait, I gotta
Get
find it for
out.
you. Start
No way.
everybody's oh my God, people are it's actually like legitimately becoming a meme now at this point.
Get
Like it is
out.
the funniest thing. Oh, Starbucks said nobody. Me. Maybe I'm just not the espresso you should be shaking, and that's okay.
Oh
Everybody, every
wow.
people are jumping onto it and making their own spins of it, and it is the funniest thing
Too bad she
because
can't trademark that.
no, but like, well, that's because she's in the villa. Let's give
Right.
us some time because we already got Poppy making like concepts of a drink. Like they made a concept of like Amaya papaya, and it was like the
What?
cutest blue can with like a papaya on it. It was like it was cute. It was super cute. Color Pop has already
Wow.
came out with like not came out with a line, but created a concept for a line. I genuinely think a lot of companies are just waiting for her to come out so that they can reach
Wow.
out and be
Brand
like, yo,
brand deals.
she's gonna get a ton, and I honestly I feel that she deserves them. Again, do I still stand on I think Amaya Papaya has some things to work on. Yes. However, I
Do
do
you
want to
but do you
say
but do you
she
think
has
her
found her person that I think will love her the way that she loves. And
that's what
it's
I
very good to me.
so so you think You truly believe that she met her match, or maybe this is the calm before another emotional storm? Because
I
I
think
haven't seen
so.
her cry yet with Brian. I'm like,
But
wait,
look, but
what?
did you pick up on Brian says something, and or he was talking about her, and like he was like, yeah, she calls me babe, and I love it, and like I think he calls her babe or something too. Like they do that with each other. Like, and he
He
says something. I think it was when he was talking to the boys about like how I think it was like it might have been like how they're moving fast, but he's okay with it because it's the pace that he likes to move at. Like they're
Oh,
moving
that's
at
a
a
red
pace that
flag
he
to
no, but
move
it
fast.
not fast, but like the pace that they're moving at, it's he's okay with that because he
Maybe he
likes that
means it
pace.
feels natural.
Yeah, I think it might have been more like in he feels like it's
Because
natural. Like it's fast to everybody else, but I think it's in a pace that it matches her because we've seen it. Like, we've seen it on multiple occasions with the wrong people where they were like, "Yeah, this is too fast for me. Like, I don't like this." But Brian's chilling.
I
He's
don't
like
know. They
that girl saw her in that moon. What is it? The moo moo mew mew moo,
oh God,
right?
those are
That man
back.
was loving it. He was loving it.
She's she's bringing her back. She's
They
bringing back the
literally,
moo boos.
that man's, the way that his eyes lit up when he saw her in that, I was like, see,
Well,
Brian,
the hideaway smiles look pretty locked and loaded, so there was a lot going on there. A lot. Talking
stop
about a
because,
lot going on. Wait, Iris and Pepe, there's something was going on. Um, I don't know. That was
look,
that was too fast for me, but
here's my big thing. I personally would have sent them home.
well, he's
Only because and Olandria done said it too. He very clearly has a type. She is the third blonde
oh
that he has been with.
wow,
Remember, it was Hannah, then it was Grayson,
Grayson.
and now it's Iris.
Oh, that's true.
I'm just saying
They
that
all
man,
look the
he
same.
very clearly has a type.
Yeah,
And because of that, it no, and this is no offense to Iris. I think she seems to be
she's
pretty
cute.
chill. Like, yeah, like she seems to be super nice. Like this again, it's not an offense to Iris at all. It's more so I just can't believe it only because of Pepe because this is the third person that he has been with that
Yeah,
fits a type. So I'm like, how genuine is it in that sense for me at least? Because
that's true.
like Nicolandria is different. Like she was so specific with her cowboy at first, and then you know Nick technically is very different from Taylor. Like he's a very different in
Everything.
they are two different types of people. So that's like okay, I wouldn't even be able to compare those two. But again, with Pippa, you got Hannah, Grayson, and Iris. I bet you if we had enough time and if they threw in another blonde, he'd
But
probably also gravitate towards them
But I
as
mean,
well.
we've spoken about this.
Yeah.
There are people who have a type. Like
Yeah.
you know, I somewhat have a type. I don't deviate too much from it. Like it has to be something extraordinary for me.
But
But I
that's
think
yeah.
most people have a type.
But I wouldn't like I don't think you would give up a good opportunity, like, or somebody who's like very genuine, like, just because of your type tampoco. Like,
Well, I
would you?
have
I
a
don't. I don't. Because I don't know. I would, or at least I would hope that if there was a genuinely good thing in front of you, and but it just wasn't in your physical type, that you would give it at least the opportunity to grow into something, and you wouldn't cut it off at the legs just because it doesn't fit your physical type. Unless you would, and that's the case, then once we hop off this, we gotta have a conversation because, girl, what did I just say like 2 episodes ago? If you keep letting your type get
don't
in your
block your
way,
blessing.
exactly. Thank you.
I don't know. There's just certain things like
Because all I know is like, sure, I guess I had a type in a sense, like
you kind of did. So
yeah,
somewhat.
but it was more in they were all Dominican. That was it. That was the
Yeah.
only box of the type.
No
And
Dominican.
if I didn't open up though, would I be where I'm at now? No.
Oh,
A girl would still be probably searching the streets. for the right one.
You wouldn't? No. There's no searching. You attract it. You attract it. There's no
Yo,
searching.
attracting only Dominicans. No offense to y'all. Love y'all. The ones, the right ones are the right ones. And that's that. But
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So we're gonna change this conversation because
we would have been same place,
I'm not gonna
same
give you
time, same
much.
channel.
I'm not I'm not about to give you that checklist. And this episode is not AW Truth Bombs. So we're not going there today. So anyway, Huda and Chris.
Oh, I got a lot to say, but I'll let you talk first.
So I do like them together, and I kind of like he's very gentle with her. Like he doesn't pop off. He doesn't
Hmm.
just kind of discredit her emotions, her feelings. So I like that. He can be mature, but something happened during that baby challenge, which by the way, that challenge
So I
it
I was gonna say I want to talk about
it's
that
about
challenge
more
a
than
little.
parenting skills. It's about
The
teamwork.
Yeah, the baby challenge, the crash out challenge, and what was the other one before that or after that? And the notes.
What is
People
it?
have people have brought
Standing.
up
Oh, forgot.
stand on business challenge.
That's it.
People have brought up a very good point, and I want to talk about this before we continue getting into them. People have felt, and I'm starting to understand it, and I'm starting to see it as well. People have felt that the past three challenges seemingly are a little bit more angled towards Huda than not.
Why is that?
Because when you think about it from the producer standpoint, I think because we saw it with Leah last year, and I can't remember who were the previous chosen villains, dare I say, but I think they have a tendency to seem to single a certain person out each season and do things that they know might make them feel a type of way. Like last year, remember how they couldn't like they were able to make America kind of hate Leah. And then what did they do?
Mm,
They suddenly brought it into the villa and with the tweets challenge, and they picked every single tweet they could that had to do with like America hating Leah to
yeah,
the point where she genuinely thought that she was a bad person. And we are seeing it again with
with
Huda,
Huda.
and to the point, but we're seeing it very differently in the sense of where I'm going to come back to this conditioning idea where she was conditioned by the Islanders to believe one thing of herself. And then let's be honest, we knew on this during the stand on business challenge, if anyone was going to have a lot of shit thrown their way, it
It
was going
was
to be
gonna be
her.
her. Yeah, yeah.
And think about it, the fact that she technically didn't even finish those cards, she threw them out. Like, so had she finished the rest of those
Oh, you're
cards, we
right.
probably would have gotten a lot more shit
That's
being spoken
true.
about her. So that's one. And then you have the crash out challenge. Was it really necessary to sit and have people say when the moments they crashed out were? No.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
true.
that was unnecessary, completely unnecessary. We didn't need that. And especially knowing that people were like the Islanders were calling her Hurricane Huda. They were sitting there talking about her crashing out all the time. Like that again, that was very pointed at Huda. And
Yeah,
then you have the baby challenge, something that they've never done, knowing that there's only one mom there. Like there's only one person who is legitimately a parent who is probably if not well, who would be the only one capable of being triggered during this challenge, which we very clearly saw that she was. And I think that trigger moment started for her with like them being woken up by a crying baby. And I think she
yeah.
did mention that her daughter was a colicky baby.
Oh, yes, yes.
So to sit and say that that's not gonna trigger the hell out of her, like
Yeah.
there that
Well,
can't even be said. And then I just I from what I've been seeing, people have said, I don't know because I didn't actually sit and like do the research. I did because I was like, we're gonna have eight different stories, but apparently I don't know if it's true. But her baby father, like the father of her daughter, did cheat on her, and that's why she had to single parent. And like, I think because of that single parenting, like it was all of that was very triggering for her. And,
Mm,
like she felt kind of secluded in all of that because everybody's kind of taking it as a joke and like they're like ha 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 whatever,
mm,
but for her that's was
it's
anything
real.
but like fake.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just, oh, we're in high school and like we're given like a baby for a week or whatever and we have to like take care of it as like a final exam or whatever. Like that wasn't what that was for her. That was her tapping into like her being a mother and like I think her daughter's birthday is in a few days and I don't know if she's going to be there by then. So all of that, like you're tapping into something that is very real for someone and
Yeah, very
probably,
personal.
she's gone what, a month and a half now without seeing her daughter. Like that
With
that makes an impact on someone, you know?
well, it sounds like Huda's. Listen, we all have inner work to do, but Huda has her own share of. I don't know if it's conditioning trauma, but the whole thing with the PDA.
You know, somebody made a
I
good
I'd
point
be,
and I
I'd feel insulted if you only touched
I
me when after the lights are out, and not even like you couldn't do that in front
my
in
opinion on
public.
that has changed a bit.
Okay.
Because I forgot that only 2 episodes ago or whatever, she was getting heavy criticism for kissing Chris in private from other people. Remember, she was being ripped a new asshole for having kissed Chris in private by Olandria, by Cierra, by
Oh.
Shelley. She was
I-
basically being told she
In the
wasn't
speakeasy,
allowed.
was that the speakeasy?
Yes, that was a speakeasy kiss, and nobody was even there. She told someone in private, like, okay, this did happen. And what
Oh,
happened later that night, she was ripped a new one for kissing the
that's
person
right.
that she was in a couple with. So if she can't even do it in private, for her to sit there and try to do it in
Yeah.
public around all these people who very clearly made, and I want to applaud Amaya for it because Amaya is the only one that I think is lucid enough to see it. The fact that she asked, she was like, is this because of the other Islanders? The fact that she was asking that question alone, I think says a lot in
Yeah.
terms of what they are not seeing and what clearly Huda feels. Because Huda said, no, I don't want to do PDA in front of them, which essentially means
Yeah.
yes, it is because of them. So I think in terms of that, like that is valid for her to feel uncomfortable about kissing Chris in public when look at the
That's
fact that
true.
the moment Chris said, "Hey, can we go for like can we go talk?" and they went to talk, immediately the other boys they start looking at each other like, "Ooh, I know something," or "Ooh, that's going to be a difficult conversation." And what do they do immediately after that when Chris and Huda sit down? They sit and they start staring. They're all up in their business. And Huda very clearly felt uncomfortable by that because she knew it was already like her relationship from the beginning had already been very like out there. She was
Yeah,
criticized for things on multiple different occasions, like anytime she was showing PDA with anyone. I
that's
think it
true.
happened with JD and Chris during Casa. Like she was being, shit talks behind her back. And then with Jeremiah, they were talking shit about her behind her back about her PDA and stuff like that. There was probably a lot of stuff
Yeah.
we didn't even see. So for me, and then I think it only was that was all confirmed when they were saved, when they got that text message that they were saved. What was the first thing that Pepe said to Iris? Damn, and they had just had a difficult conversation right before this where it was kind of shaky, which proves that people are up in their business all the time. So honestly, like, and I understand Chris, like, I think Chris is super valid for that. Like, for being like, well, we can have sex, but you won't kiss me in public. Chris,
So what?
did you go like forget that you and her were just
He's a guy. They
no,
don't
I
really.
know. But
Uh,
it's that he remembers the small things and he listens to the small things. So I'm kind of surprised that even like her
that
saying,
he
"Hey,
missed it.
like I'm super like not necessarily saying I'm uncomfortable, but she was very visibly uncomfortable having that conversation in front of everyone where they were already looking at her and she was like, she looks around because she's like, like they're staring at us, have a conversation. And what was his first response? Why do you care? Because
Well,
they've ridiculed this girl time and time again for it.
so what do
You
you
ha
think? They'll work it out or not?
I really hope so. I didn't agree necessarily with the fact that they have half a difficult conversation, she gets up and, to kind of like cool down so that, because I think old Huda would have just kind of
Crashed out.
lost it. Yeah, I think she would have just lost it and she wouldn't have walked away. I think the fact that she walked away tells me enough about like, okay, she is serious about this and she wants to go about it the right way. But I also think clearly it was very hard for her to do that in a space where she was being stared at having this conversation, probably with others waiting for her to like crash out and like get super disrespectful. The fact that she was able to voice exactly what she felt to Amaya and couldn't to Chris, I think it shows the difference in the environment that they were in. Like she was in a private environment with Amaya, so she was able to vocalize what she felt and you know, but when she was with Chris in front of all these people who are openly staring at her, they're not even trying to hide it anymore that they're trying to stare and like get all the chisme on this conversation. Like that's very uncomfortable, especially when and I don't agree with the fact that like Chris had an issue with it from the previous day. And instead of like going to her and being like, hey, like, can we talk about this? And like, addressing it early on, he went to the boys first. The same people that I I want to say that he is aware enough to realize that okay, she's uncomfortable with at least some aspect of like kissing me in front of these people. So I'm going to go to these same people that make her uncomfortable to talk to them about this issue that I'm having with her. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
we'll have to see if I don't know if they work it out or there's another blow up. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I was 75, kind of. I was kind of hoping they would, but I'm not sure. There
I
might be another blow up, but we'll see.
I
But
I think they did that though because they wanted to leave it in a way that would make viewers want to kick them off. That girl she breathes wrong and she gets heavily criticized by the other people in the house, by social media. Like
no,
there's a lot of people
there's always
there's a
got to
lot of
be a
people that
villain.
don't want to give her grace and I'm like there's a lot of people that I think they choose. I think Huda is probably the realest person on there
Yeah,
in the
I
sense
think
of
so.
she is the most relatable to what many of us have experienced in some way, shape, sorry, excuse me, and or form in life. But a lot of people lack the ability to do their self-reflection to be like, damn, like I have been where Huda is. I have chosen not to do certain things around certain people because I was afraid of the criticism that I have faced in the past from those same people. Like
No, I
with with her, it requires to understand who Huda is or like to get kind of like a read on her, you have to do the self-reflection on yourself and understand are the things that I'm seeing with her something that I have done in the past or something I've experienced in the past. And I don't think there are enough people that are willing to do that work just yet. And because of that, they rather sit and openly criticize her because we're seeing people say, well, why did she get up and walk away from that conversation? When Shelley also excused herself from the conversation that she had with Ace when they
yeah.
were going through their whole thing. She did the same thing. Why? And she did it with Huda as well. Why? Because she wanted to remove herself so that she could give herself time to cool down and like get her thoughts in order so that she didn't act out of emotion and that so that she didn't say something that was out of pocket, you know?
I completely agree, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully I wouldn't want to see her get kicked off, but
I really don't want
every
to.
show needs a villain, and it seems like,
Yeah.
they're it. And after Clarke and Taylor
I don't
got
agree with that at
booted,
all. I don't agree with that.
I
They
thought
were
they
the
were the
only
realest
couple,
couple.
literally out of the entire time that we were going through all this bullshit, they were the only couple that legitimately actually like this. Sometimes I sat there and was like, she's kind of dry
Yeah,
with him. But like
but
that's how I felt at
it
times. But
warmed
yeah,
up
like
though.
but even in that last episode, like I was still like there were moments where when they were talking I was like, Clarke girl, give
Although
us a little
I
something
don't
more.
he's very like he's a country bumpkin
I'm
and she's not. So I
I'm
was
almost
like,
concerned that like in that sense of were we seeing those differences starting to pop up very slowly? Is that what it was? Like, I still do
could
think
be.
that they deserve to be in the final four. They were the
As
only couple
opposed
that
to
was
like
super
Iris and
real.
Pepe, which
I
I
look,
would have picked. And
maybe
not
they're
that
not, yeah, but
I am crazy or was crazy about Clarke and Taylor, but they definitely did build something over time. It seemed to be evolving. So I
like
would
even
have
I was
liked
sitting
to
there,
see what like how they
yeah.
evolved for the next whatever few
Girl,
days
even
as
I was sitting
opposed to
there like cheesing over how he asked her to be closed off. Like I was like, that is
I love
mad
the
cute.
cheer,
Like,
right? The cheer.
yeah, like
That was
because
cute. That was
those are
cute.
the little details. Those are the things that like you want your partner to remember and notice about you.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
and
cute. He
that's
made
like,
it that effort. I loved it.
yeah. And
I
like
loved it.
honestly, that it's the same thing with like Nick and Alandria. Like even though, they still have a lot of work to do, I think. But the fact that he was already like, oh, like I've never been to Alabama, like maybe I should come down to Alabama at some point. And like there's a clip of him, I didn't pay that much attention, but somebody else brought it up where she was doing something and he was when they panned to him and what he was doing in the room, he was literally laying out her pajamas on the bed so that she can like after she was done getting ready, like she can just change grab her pajamas, change into them and like go into bed. Like it's all those little details and like the things that he was talking about, the little details when they were with the boys playing basketball and stuff like that. Like he was mentioning all those little things that to notice that you only notice if you like somebody. We
Oh,
haven't seen that with Pepe and Iris. They seem like a really chill couple, but I'm also still not super convinced in the sense because, again, he has a type. We have seen it
neither
three
am
times
I.
now.
Yeah, neither am I. So, finale predictions. I can't believe we're down to the end. Is Amaya officially the people's princess
Yeah,
and Brian?
yeah.
Uh, I'm here for it.
I
Dominicano,
am
Puerto
too.
Riqueño, like
I'm here
from
for
New
it.
York.
And they're cute and super genuine and like I think he matches her crazy in a sense.
So, t
So,
so I say
no
top,
issue.
let's say top two. Or could it be Ace and Shelley? Because he does
Probably.
have a winning streak, and I don't know, he seems to have like a late in the game glow up type of energy right now. I gotta
Yeah.
say. So what do you think? Top three predictions. Three, two, one.
My guess is it's probably gonna be Amaya and Brian, Shelly and Ace, and like Alandria and Nick.
Actually, I agree with you.
Like I again, I wouldn't say that I personally think, at least in terms of like Alandria and Nick, that they should be in top three. I'm just going based off of like what I've seen on social media and the fact that regardless of the fact that they had to kind of be forced together, people are still gonna put them together. They're still gonna put them in the top three.
So I agree with your top three. As far as long term, which one couple do you see actually going the distance after the villa?
I think if they can get it together, Huda and Chris, as well as
Ooh.
Amaya and Bryan. I can see Huda and Chris
I say
just
Amaya and
because
Bryan.
no, Amaya and Bryan, I just I look at them as like a shoo-in for all of it, like all of the above. I'm like, yes, it's them because they clearly seem to match each other. Where is he? He's in Boston, she's
He's
in
in
New York.
Boston, she's in New York.
It's not that far. I could definitely see that man like going the
Dominican Puerto
distance
Rican
for
families
her.
getting
Yeah, like
together. Yeah,
for
I could
me,
see
they're just
it.
a shoo-in. Like they fit each other's energies. I could definitely see them making it work outside the villa. Um, as long as like they continue their communication and all that, I could see it. I think in terms of like couples that like have work to do and stuff like that, I can still see Huda and Chris making it as long as like she does the work with herself. And honestly, as long as if Chris does the work on himself as well. Because for me, it just, we saw him very like receptive to everything that she was saying prior, and then suddenly he kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
It kind of struck me a little like, oh, that
Well,
was
I didn't I
really,
don't think he appreciated she was very bossy during that whole baby challenge. I don't know if that changed it for him a bit, but it definitely did. It did a number on him a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
So,
But again, I
but
do think that's
that's one of her sides, though. She's
yeah,
definitely bossy.
yeah. But
So
that's
we'll
why
have to
like I
see.
wonder though if that has to do with like single mother
Could be.
trauma and like the
Yeah.
way that all of that was gone about like because again for her that's just I can't even look at it as a challenge for her because a challenge is such essentially like when you boil all of at least Love Island challenges down, they boil down into a game.
Well,
That wasn't a game for her. That wasn't like it wasn't like Shelly and Ace who were just like joking around with it or like Taylor who was joking around with it. Like they were like playing at it, but like not really. Like for her, that was very serious. Like she went into mom mode and you saw like you could see that switch. Like that wasn't her just doing what she thinks was like, and I think that's where I don't know, I give her a lot of grace for that one because I personally I don't agree. I think the game would have been cute if no one in there was a mom. But that
we'll
wasn't
have
cute to me. That was you giving somebody trauma because you know you can. Because
well
why choose the year that you have a mom on the show to do a baby challenge?
we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
The finale is on Sunday, and
But we
this
find out who gets voted off tomorrow.
oh, do we have a vote? I
Yeah.
haven't
This
voted.
is
Oh shoot.
girl.
Did I miss it again? Oh,
Yes.
oh, damn it. You're supposed to tell me these things so I
I,
could vote.
girl, I told you after the episode to go vote.
Oh, damn it. Is it closed?
Yes.
Oh, yikes.
Girl,
Oh,
I literally
well,
told you when
I
you
don't
called
know.
me yesterday. I was like, girl, we have a vote tonight. Vote.
Yesterday was a rough day. I can't remember half the shit that went down. Anyway, this season has flipped the
Well,
script more times than we could count. But one thing's for sure, the finale is anyone's game. I say Brian and Amaya. Will love win or will strategy take the crown? Stay tuned because this villa isn't done shaking shit up. We shall
man,
see, and we'll be back to bring you that finale. Thank you,
I'm
Avani
so
B.
ready. I'm so ready.
When are we gonna do the rest of the season? The rest of the summer season. I
Well,
think
right after Love Island,
we are going to
the
Miami.
finale, that too. But
Ah!
no, that's when the premiere of Love Island after the villa starts.
Oh, I don't know if I'm
So,
seeing it yet, but we'll see. I do like
oh, I'll
Dia
be
and Miguel,
watching.
but that's a whole different episode
No,
if we
I'll be
decide.
watching
All right,
because
we'll see.
I need them back on. I need some positive Love Island groups on my screen because this was
Maybe we'll talk about that next, but I don't know. Not sure
look,
yet.
all I know is next season I want waitresses, um, I want mechanics, I want I want people who do yard work. I want regular people.
Graphic
Yes,
designers.
graphic designers. Let's get some normal people back on the show, not people with a million followers already.
Vonnie B, thank you for sharing your thoughts. You are the bomb. Thank
Mm,
you. And thank you, Los, for joining us on this, wow, almost final episode of Villa Vibes and Hot Takes. We'll talk to you
yep.
soon. Bye.